let's talk about goat paths. Maybe it's a phrase you haven't heard before, but you certainly have seen them because they're in every city. See behind me here? This trail, this was made by pedestrians themselves, walking the desired lines of travel. Here is the sidewalk that was designed for them and where it should go. So let's do some discovery today about goat paths. Let's take a look around and see what might be informing them. Why are people going this way? And then maybe what we can do to help better design our infrastructure to better align with what people are looking to do. And here we are, an overhead view, and you can see where the goat path has developed. Why is it right there? Well, here is the multi-use path going right through that intersection. Is it going to go down this way? Nope, it is going to go this way. Why is that? Because it's shorter, but as you can see, these goat paths are everywhere. I've crossed the street from where the grocery store is located, but if we take a look where the trail goes, the natural location for this trail is to cross right here. That's where the train track was. But what we've done here is moved the access a little bit farther up by this intersection. So I guess someone might ask, well, why wouldn't we maybe put a crosswalk here? And I think this is one of those balances that a traffic engineer would have to make, because this actually is one of the busiest thoroughfares in the city, and the question would be, there's going to be some kind of impact on traffic flow and delay. Let's go from here to another spot. Another one we're going to go on the scene to check out here. Now the goat path is pretty evident here. There's the end of the ramp, and then as it makes its way straight across over to that little underpass over there. If you look over this way, this was the way that we were trying to get around that, because basically we have a set of ramps and the user has to backtrack. And it's probably a solid 100-meter additional access that someone has to do to get out and around. So what do people do? Well, they come down here and they cross. So they have to cross a ramp, 4 lanes of traffic, and another ramp. Yet people still do it. And why? We're going to go from here to one more, I think, great example of a goat path. 4-lane highway, 2 neighborhoods. Let's zoom in. Take a look. And now we've come up to one of my favorite goat paths. Well, certainly my favorite to talk about. Over here at my shoulder, this is a path that's crossing a 4-lane highway over into a residential neighborhood. And the reason it's so popular is because over here is the University of New Brunswick, St. Thomas University, and New Brunswick Community College. So we've got a residential area over here, and we've got a place where people work and study over here. Oh, and there's a 4-lane highway dividing the 2 areas. The other place to cross is way down at the bottom of the hill. So why is it that people would risk life and limb to cross at a location like this? And I think this is the big challenge in active transportation research. But it just so happens a couple of researchers at the University of Waterloo are working on this exact problem. These 3 researchers from the University of Waterloo, Chris Skelton, Bruce Hellinga, and Chris Bachman, presented this paper about modeling pedestrian crossing behavior. And in a nutshell, imagine that you could simulate a pedestrian making a decision to go in 1 meter by 1 meter squares. At each point, they have a decision to make as they're trying to go from one point to the other. In this case, the pedestrian is trying to go across the street. As they are reaching each decision point, they have a decision to make. Do I cross at this point? Is it safe for me to do so? And they do this in terms of a cost. So in this case, a total journey time to go the way they're supposed to go has a certain cost, but that is cheaper in the mind of the pedestrian than risking running into these cars. However, in this case over here, you can see that the pedestrian decides not to take the crosswalk, even though that is the designated way to go, but they're going to cross here at the shortest path. In that case, what they've done as their research is to try to figure out, well,
what are those costs? How does a pedestrian perceive those so that we could actually model it in the presence of traffic, in the presence of other operating rules? And perhaps this type of approach, I'm really looking forward to seeing the outcome of this, is to be able to say, if we're going to assess new infrastructure, can we determine where pedestrians are most likely to want to travel? And can we adapt our infrastructure, or even better, design for the pedestrian so that they'll always be looking to minimize their costs in a way that is not going to have them deviate so much between their original routes and avoid the goat path. Thank you for listening.